This is Miss Corral. She's a school counselor. This is Mike. He's a high school senior receiving counseling from Miss Corral. In his sessions, he often discloses information about his new girlfriend, Maggie. He admits that he has stolen money from her wallet and has cheated on her. Meanwhile, Miss Corral goes to her best friend's daughter's 16th birthday party. There, she sees Mike, who happens to be her best friend's daughter Maggie's new boyfriend. Yikes, I guess you can say that Miss Corral is caught in an ethical dilemma. To solve this ethical dilemma, Miss Corral must first define the problem. The dilemma is related to confidentiality and dual relationships. As much as Miss Corral will want to warn Maggie and her mom, that would mean breaching client confidentiality. Also, by attending the same party, a dual relationship was unintentionally formed. Next, Miss Corral will refer to the codes of ethics for school counselors. Both the ACA and ASCA stress the importance of respecting and safeguarding client confidentiality. Information should only be disclosed with appropriate consent or with legal or ethical justification. Also, school counselors must avoid dual relationships, especially when potentially harmful to the client. If unavoidable, the counselor must take action to eliminate or reduce harm. Now, Miss Corral must determine the nature and dimensions of her dilemma. This involves considering the moral principles of counseling and consulting with colleagues. Miss Corral determines that the most prevalent moral principle at stake is non-maleficence, or doing no harm. In her decision, she wants to make sure she upholds this moral principle. Now, Miss Corral will generate possible courses of action. In regards to confidentiality, Miss Corral has two options: to break confidentiality and tell Maggie and her mother what she knows of Mike, or to maintain client confidentiality. When looking at the dual relationship, Miss Corral has another two options. She may continue to counsel Mike, putting various precautions into place that will reduce potential harm to the client, or she can refer Mike to another counselor on site. Next, Miss Corral will consider the potential consequences of all options and determine the course of action. She determines that breaking confidentiality would be highly unethical and would infringe upon her relationship with her client. It is imperative that the information stay confidential. Looking now at the dual relationship, she determines that she cannot stay objective if she continues to counsel Mike. If she refers him to another counselor, there is less potential for harm to the client. Next, Miss Corral must evaluate this course of action. She noticed that the course of action does in fact give rise to new ethical considerations involving termination of services and referrals. Miss Corral will have to take the appropriate steps to make sure this process is handled ethically and while still upholding the moral principle of non-maleficence. After thorough evaluation, Miss Corral is now ready to implement her course of action. To her relief, Mike was very open to the idea of seeing a new counselor, as the dual relationship created an awkward situation for the both of them. She will keep in mind that she may need to follow up on the situation to remedy any unanticipated consequences. Miss Corral is relieved and happy with the ultimate course of action she chose after using the rational model for ethical decision-making.
Created using Powtoon.